Tonight, your American dream starts with a big idea.
Is work crushing your dream? Find out how to break the cycle and do what you love.
It is nothing short of tragic if people are out there, stuck working for the man. That's no way to live a life.
Find out how big wave surfer Laird Hamilton found his dream and his dad all at once. And the secret life of Nancy O'Dell.
I dressed up as a prostitute, put a wig on, and stood on the street.
Is your current job crushing your dreams? Guess what? 3 out of 4 Americans say they'd be open to a new career opportunity this year. That means there are a lot of unhappy people out there not living their dreams. If tomorrow you want to start to weave a dream into your life, break out of what you're doing, we've got the Dream Weavers. Rich and Jeff Sloan are experts at helping people break out of jobs they don't love and follow their passion. They're founders of Startup Nation. You guys have a bunch of specific steps.
Yes.
Because that's an amazing statistic. Right now, we've got a nation of unhappy workers and not dreamers.
America is really a unique place in the world. This whole country was founded on the idea that you can come here and grow up and live your dream. And it is nothing short of tragic if people are out there, stuck working for the man. That's no way to live a life.
Yeah, and for everybody who's out there watching right now, the key, though, Donnie, is you got to make a commitment to do something to start changing now. You got to make that commitment to get going.
That's what we're doing right now. Okay, the first premise, then we're going to get into the steps, is you actually say to people that whether they realize or not, themselves and their dreams are not that far apart. Well, talk to me if I'm 3 out of the 4 people watching and go,
yeah,
I'm
skepticism.
not loving what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Well, the reality is, and we are living proof of this, if you start to envision it and if you start to take some basic steps toward it, you can actually get to living your dream life much faster and much easier than you think. And think of it this way, you sleep a third of your life, that's that 30%, and you work for a huge part of the day. Don't fritter it away on something that you are not passionate about. That is...
It's crazy. That's why 60% of the people right now said they were unsatisfied with their jobs. It's over half of people. That's crazy. So let's get right into the steps. The first one, guys, this is folks at home, this is really interesting stuff. Take a snapshot of your current life. You say, rate your life on a scale of 1 to 100. How do you mean?
Yeah, I think you've got to be really honest about this. You've got to take a look and say, am I happy with the way I'm spending my time? Am I happy with what I'm achieving? Am I happy with what I'm making in terms of income and earning? Am I happy with my family life, et cetera? Put that all together, kind of take a snapshot of that, and then say, am I really where I want to be, or is there someplace better I can go to be really happy?
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
But you say 90% of the people in all of your research are not. So how would you rate yourself between 100? Is there a way to do this? Is there kind of a little formula?
I mean, you can use a 100 scale. I might say I'm 95. There's always room for improvement. But I'm generally very happy with what I'm doing. Rich?
Just think about it. You wake up in the day, are you feeling good? Do you love what you're doing? Are you fulfilled? For us, one of the key things is to have a meaningful life. Are you wasting your time? If you have that sense, maybe you're a 60, maybe you're a 70.
But you should have a 9 in front of it. You can't put a 90 when you put it all down. Okay, step 2. Paint the picture of how big your life can be. I'm not getting clear.
And I think I'd break this down in 2 ways. Number 1, think about what you love doing. Think about what you love doing. Maybe it's roller coasters. Maybe it's fire. There's a guy who grew up loving fire, Christophe Bethune. He's now the #1 fireworks guy in the world. Yeah. He thought about what he loved. In fact, maybe what he loved really drove him to create a business like that. He's now making millions doing great things. There's a guy doing what he loves.
So if you want to distill it down to a process here, what you want to do is you want to analyze the things that you really believe that you would gain fulfillment from, the things that you think that you will get the biggest kick out of life.
Don't even worry about does this translate to money. Like if the reality is, if I love fish,
think outlandishly.
So just think grandiose. Say, boy, if I had my way, I would be own an aquarium on a resort island.
Perfect.
Start there.
That's exactly right. Don't chase the money. Yeah. Don't chase the money, chase the passion.
If I love electrical trains, I would be a collector of trains.
There you go.
So don't worry about right now. I think that's important.
We know a guy named Scott Griggs. Yeah, amazing. Love model trains. He's living his dream life, making millions of dollars. Left HP, now making millions of dollars selling collectible toy trains.
So right now, we've done things. Rate yourself 1 to 100. You're happy, do you love it? Number 2, write the grandiose plan. Other than play center field for the Yankees, I want to own a sports memorabilia bet. Start with your love and go from there. Okay. Third thing, define your strengths and accomplishments. What do you mean? You actually say, take out a piece of paper and do what?
Well, what you need to do, this is a little bit of the analysis, you know, that self-reflection. What are the things you have experience doing? Are you, for example, are you good at doing sales-related activity? Are you good at helping people? Do you like to kind of work on your own in an isolated way? What are the things that really give you gratification, that you have experience doing, et cetera? And with that, you start to amass a little war chest of things that you can bring to the table.
I've touched on this in various areas on the show. I'm curious your take on this. Write your manifesto. How do you mean?
The manifesto essentially brings together what your purpose is, what you are all about. It is an expression, it's all the important things about you. So for us, we have this written at our website. It's about the combination of these three things. Freedom, we want to live a life filled with freedom. Family, we like doing business together. We like treating the people who work with us as kind of a family environment. And fulfillment, we do not want to waste a single day, a single hour of a day without doing something that's meaningful, that's part of the legacy
but
that
this
we
is
leave.
the last thing you said to me is a little airy, in a sense of, is like, you know, kind of, I don't know, how do you make it a little bit more work-like for somebody? Because, okay, those are things that, okay, I want it fulfilling, I want to make a difference. I don't know if that's going to get me closer. How do you get somebody to write a manifesto that has a little more teeth in it?
Well, I think it's important to start with airy. That's okay. It's good to dream. It's good to dream, but you have to realize the dream. So then I think you need to think about things like, you know, how do I make money from that dream? How am I going to, if I pick family, how can I be working with my family and still have a model that I can earn money in?
Let's take a look at this in action with some other more normal people than myself. Steve Belanger is an actor and a comedian. He always wasn't living his dream, though.
I was a corporate executive for 16 years. It was, for lack of a better word, soul-sucking. I had a great boss, I had a great job. I was in charge of expense accounts. I played more free golf than anybody could ever dream of. And I said, this is as good as it gets. And I'm still pretty miserable. One day I met with a BBC producer who had seen a pilot I had done. I had lunch with her and she said, God, look at you, you're miserable. You should just quit your job and do this full time. I went home and told my wife and she said, why don't you quit your job? The next day I quit and it's been great ever since. I just auditioned for a Bruce Willis film, which would have been great. I did not get it. That sucks. But I sit down at night and go, I just auditioned for a Bruce Willis flick. That's kind of cool.
All right, Steve, poster boy that this stuff does work. Let's first start out. You were miserable. You were a VP at making big money at Time Warner.
Great job.
Great. We've been there 16 years. So you took a snapshot of your current life. What did that look like?
Great family life. Should be happy as a clam. Great job. Plenty of money coming in. And miserable. My wife noticed I was turning into a jackass. And it was all because, you know, I was just a slave to a job that I somehow fell into and did great at for years and years.
So now you're on this path. So on a scale of 1 to 100, you were probably
65, 70,
yeah,
pass, fail, I'm on the wrong side.
Not good. Okay.
Not good.
So now start to think about your ideal lifestyle. Before we figured out what you were going to, what would your ideal lifestyle look like?
My ideal lifestyle at that time?
Yeah.
I wanted to be more creative. I was
Okay.
a vice president of finance. I was, you know, all numbers. It was and down an accounting lifestyle that I was doing.
Isn't it amazing? How did you end up there? You're a creative guy. This is, people make this mistake. Was it parents who said you need that? You get the CPA. I mean, isn't that amazing?
I went to college as an accounting major for 2 weeks, stopped, became a psychology major because the classes seemed fun and those girls were cute, and then never thought I'd go back to accounting. And somehow it found me. I wanted to be a writer. I got a job in a magazine because I'm right brain, left brain.
Yeah. It found you, or did you get offered a job that had a really good pay associated with it, and therefore it was very enticing, and you took it?
It was an entry-level job at a publishing company, and at the time I wanted to write for Spy magazine. It was the 80s, that was hip,
Sure.
and I wanted to do it. I said, well, I'm at a publishing company, it's an in. And
That's
then
a mistake people make.
That is
I always
the
say to
mistake.
people in advertising, I want to be in creative, we'll start in the media department. No, you're
Right.
going to be in the media department. You're going to wake up 7 years, and that's it. Okay, so you do the 1 to 100, you're a 65.
Mm-hmm.
Your ideal lifestyle would be doing something creative. Okay, now the next step, put your strengths, accomplishments on a piece of paper. What did you write down?
I'm funny.
Okay.
You can't tell from this dry
Definitely
wit.
not,
No.
okay.
I'm very creative. I like to write. I like to, you know, I'm kind of an entertaining guy.
What happens then?
So, like we've said, I hit 35, and it's, you know, I can see the path that's laid out.
Yeah, I'm worried next year when I hit 35 because I'm walking into a wall. That's what I'm talking about. Go on. Okay.
Call me, we'll
Yes,
talk.
all right.
And I can kind of see where the next 5, 10, 20 years are going. I like stand up. Which I was doing while still a VP at Time Inc. Throw off the
Right.
jump on a I do 2 shows. I'm back in the boardroom.
So the answer for you was, is this actually an interesting step? Because you start to take those baby steps?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, first of all, you kind of have to let it bubble to the surface, and you have to realize that you're not doing what you're meant to do.
That's the key. If you folks out there, if you think the dream is dead, you got to reopen it. Okay, we got another example. Maya Jacobson, founder of Feed Your Soul. Great story.
I was a trader on the American Stock Exchange. I would go to work and stand on a box and scream in a crowd of men all day, and then I actually would go to law school at night. I did that 4 nights a week. I would get home about 11 o'clock, eat something, do a little studying, go to bed, and do it all over again. I reached a point where I had these all-consuming days, but I wasn't fulfilled. So I decided to create a gift company. I am content when I wake up in the morning. There's a smile on my face. I have an indescribable energy within me, a fire lit within me that I have not felt before because I am pursuing this dream.
All right, Maya, you were a trader, getting up at 5:30 every morning. Tell me the first step. You took a snapshot of your life. What did it look like?
Right. My life was all-consuming. I was busy. I was trading all day. I was going to law school in the evenings, and my life was very full, but it wasn't mine. I felt like I was underwater and couldn't get out.
If you were going to rate it 1 to 100, what would you rate it?
In terms of the people I was surrounded by, I would give it an 85%. But in terms of quality of life, I would say below 50.
Below 50,
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the step 2 is you kind of define your passions. You kind of put, what would the big, a big picture, grandiose, what were the passions?
Well, it's interesting. I've always felt that I was a more creative person and a people person and really didn't belong in finance.
I want to stop again. How did you end up? It's amazing. We're going to do a whole show on how'd you get started, because it's all these, how did that happen?
You know, it's really scary to be a creative person and to figure out how to make you money. But you have to do it. You have to stay true to yourself.
You're not going to make the money unless you exploit that. But so, how did you get down that path?
Well, a lot of it was understanding the theory behind things without necessarily being good at calculating the numbers. If you understand the theory and you have some common sense and you're resourceful, a lot of times you can figure out your way to get to the answers or find the right people that can do it for you.
Okay, so what were your accomplishments? Well, I mean, what were your passions? Or when you were going to write down passions, what would they have been at the time?
My passions were writing. I loved baking, I loved giving. I always wanted to do something that had to do with those 3 things.
Which has nothing to do with being a trader on Wall Street.
Nothing, but I was looking to live in New York City and I needed to pay my rent.
Okay, but that's the first step. So then you write your manifesto. What did the manifesto say?
The manifesto said, what can I do? I'm so busy. Everyone I know is busy and miserable, and the goal in life should be appreciating the people and the moments that matter most. And I wasn't doing any of that anymore.
Okay, so how'd you flip the switch and how'd you turn your dream on and turn it into cookies?
I became a mad scientist in the kitchen, and I started baking, and I started an online website because I needed a portal to the world.
But I want to stop there, because right now you're trading, because that sounds great, but you're trading.
I'm trading.
You're making your money there. So are you doing that at 11 o'clock at night? Are you doing, give me the little transition, because that's the hard part for everybody.
Right. I was no longer trading. I turned 30. My company closed. There are a million other jobs down there, but a lot of the trading technology things were changing on the actual floor. Law school had finished. I wasn't looking to be a lawyer. I said, what can I do? What can I do to capture the essence of who I am that will bring me to life? And I said, what could I do that would feed my soul? And this is
There's
how
an
it
important
started.
point there, too. Some people are forced into having to make this choice. You lose the job.
Yeah.
And then you have to say, now what do I do? And a lot of people out there in America, as we know right now, this is a great time. This is the time right now, because a lot of people are feeling that out of adversity.
Maya, let me ask you a
time.
question. The day you started doing it, first time you baked, forget that you didn't even have your business going.
Right.
Didn't you feel like a different person already?
I did. I felt free.
Yeah.
And I felt alive. And everything I did felt like it was more me. So even though I didn't know exactly where I was going, I always knew I was going in the right direction. It just felt right.
I want everybody at home, if you're 3 out of that 4, if you don't love it, if you're thinking about a change, Carpe Diem, now or never. Richard Jeff Sloan, co-founders and authors of Startup Nation. Steve Belanger, not a relative of Mark Belanger, former shortstop of the Baltimore Orioles, actor and comedian, and Maya Jacobson, founder of Feed Your Soul. More big idea straight ahead. We're just getting started.
Next, Nancy O'Dell has the goods on everyone in Hollywood, but she's got a secret too.
I got propositioned for around the world. Well, the cops didn't prep me for what all the language was, so I was
I'm gonna just completely blow my rap here. I don't know what around the world
Well, I
is.
didn't either, Donnie. Don't feel bad.
I'm imagining
You can
it.
picture what it would be. I think
Okay.
it meant they wanted everything.
Around the world. Sam?
And later, the man on top of